Good afternoon, everyone. Welcome back to Building the Future Day 2, the workshop day, the education day. And now I have the pleasure to introduce a hot topic for Portugal, for each one of us, because it's the real economy. I'm going to talk about AI for SMEs, small and medium enterprises, and how this, it is the next stage of digital transformation. So thank you very much for showing up. I know that a lot of you just eat very fast to be here, so I will try to make up and compensate for that. And of course, I'm going to talk about SMEs. And big question is, I know that every one of us know or work or at least have have been dealing with a company that is still running on Excel, on paperwork, on manual processes. I know that majority of you are actually uh, suffering many times with this. So let's try to see if AI can help us in this. In Portugal, actually, this sort of problem, this sort of company has the name, or as a way to phrase it. This is how we actually do it. We call it, these companies are, still stuck in Excel, in papel, and in manuel. So that's kind of the type of thing that we're going to talk about today. So Excel, because a lot of us, still depend, a lot of companies still depend on, let me take this. Yeah. I don't know how to take this. Well, I'm going to say this. Sorry for this. I'm trying to minimize as much as possible this. And there you go. I think now we can share it. Yeah. Okay. Well, it's still there. I'm trying to minimize it, but it's not minimizing. But anyway, so I was joking with this. So I don't know how to do it. Excel, coming back, papel and manuel. So this is the three things that many small enterprises still suffer, still struggle, and they cannot get rid of. And these are actually influencing negatively their productivity. But now we have AI, and AI will solve everything, right? Will save us from everything. So AI actually is generating two types of reaction in the SMEs world. First of all, some of them are panicking. Oh, AI will destroy everything. AI will, eliminate us. And therefore, they are avoiding reinforcing this. But probably they are overreacting like this, small kid. Others are looking at AI and say AI will fix everything. So they are relying a lot. They are overconfident with AI, and of course, probably they are going to fail with it. Like this gentleman here that is running, and of course, it's not going very well. It falls in the first half. So this workshop will tackle this Excel, Papel, and Manuel, and how AI, not panicking, but not overconfidence, how AI could play an important role. We're going to talk about why SMEs are very important and they are still stuck. We're going to discover or try to discover how digital and AI can actually transform a business. And we try to depict here a practical playbook to move from manual to digital and then to AI. So a little bit about us, me, Miguel. I'm working with FLEDGE Institute. FLEDGE Institute is inclusive digital reskilling academy that empowers non-technical talents, people that don't have technical backgrounds, that are not engineers, to become tech fluent transformation agents without code. So that's what we do, and that's what we are going to talk about today as well. So let's start. And I want to start by understanding the SME's harsh realities. Okay, the real economy, Portugal and Europe, still runs on SMEs. Portugal is a country where SMEs account for 98 or 99% of the total number of companies, and so is Europe. So we are still, a country where the majority of companies are small and medium enterprises. We see that the majority of the employment is also in the small and medium real economy. And finally, also they represent a big chunk of the economic value creation that our country and our continent also delivers. So if SMEs don't transform, they don't go digital, they don't leverage AI, well, the economy will not transform, productivity will not raise. So that's how important this is. But let's see how digital and how AI friendly, ready are SMEs. According to several studies, as you can see here, SMEs digitalization is still far away from the target that was established by the European Union. So in terms of digital intensity, we're talking about half, 53%. So we still have another half of SMEs that need to go digital and to use as much as possible the tools that are available. In terms of the digital acceleration index, we're still half the way again. So a lot of things to do, a lot of SMEs to change and to transform. When we look at the AI, well, AI adoption in companies and professional usage is very, very low. So we have 80% adoption and we have 11% of professional usage, which is still very, very low, and according to the target that was established by the European Union, well, still a long way ahead. So before AI, I think that we still need to digitalize companies like SMEs. They still need a lot of simplification, a lot of digitalization, a lot of Excel, Papel, and Manuel to eliminate. But why SMEs struggle with transformation? Well, it's definitely it's very frustrating topic. Why? Because technology feels overwhelming. Too many tools, no clear roadmap. So still, this technological aspect for industries and companies that are not technological, well, it is a far-fetched jump. Second, well, we could hire consulting, but consulting is still very expensive. And large consultancy firms, they focus on big corporations because that's where the money is. So SMEs are pretty much left alone. Third, well, hiring could be an alternative, but hiring feels impossible. First of all, because SMEs don't have internal expertise, and to hire developers or people that are more technical, it seems hard or impossible because those are the ones that are getting hired by the big companies. Fourth, well, we could, check universities, but universities are still far away from the practical application, still far away from SME worlds. So a little bit too theoretical, although they are improving, they're still not there. So SMEs, they don't need more hype, they don't need more talk, they need practical path, they need practical advices. So that's how we reach to a point to say, okay, so what can we establish as principles to help SMEs jump into the AI and digital world? So let's talk about transformation principles. Well, first thing first, I think that yesterday in Building the Future, there was a lot of conversation that was about transformation doesn't start with AI, doesn't start with tools, doesn't start with courses. It starts with processes. If we understand the process, if we understand the workflow, well, then we will change. So it's not about getting the latest, more interesting tool. It's really understanding the process. One of the sentences yesterday was mentioned by the Secretary of Transformation of the government. It's before AI, we have to talk about digitalization. And before digitalization, we have to talk about simplification. And so that's kind of a guiding principle for the principles that we want to establish for SMEs transformation. So you cannot digitalize chaos. You cannot digitalize something that is broken. So we will not save a broken process with more technology, with digital solutions, or with AI. You cannot apply, all of this technology to things that are not working. So three big principles. The first one is simplify. Simplify the structure, simplify the workflows. Before you do anything related to digital or AI, we have to understand, identify, and simplify the ones that the processes that need to be digitalized. Second, after simplification, we can't start talking about digitalization. So we can digitalize the processes, the workflows, and really streamline everything. And third, well, we have the amplification and sophistication that AI brings. So this order is actually the the principle of any transformation, but in particular SMEs, where the processes are not as mature as big companies, it makes even more sense to apply it. But what kind of broken processes? What kind of digital opportunities we have in SMEs? Well, we have quite a few. First of all, and I'm just giving some examples, email addiction. A lot of operations of a small and medium enterprises, they rely on email. Well, we have email from customers, email from within the team. We have a lot of things happening on email. It's slow responses. Many times we lose information because it's stuck on an email box. And of course, email box is also very, very volatile. Second, we have paper and files chaos. We're talking about contracts, we're talking about proposals, we're talking about manuals, we're talking about, simple um, documents that rely on computers or rely on files and binders, and they are not organized. They are completely spread all over. So that's also an interesting digital opportunity. Also, related to tasks, there are many repetitive admin work, like data entry, doing reports, filing invoices, or filling up this official document that is needed. There's a lot of repetitive tasks that can be, again, digitalized or amplified with AI. Another very big chunk of opportunities rely on customer requests and customer support. There's a lot of questions that customers ask that are the same, and they are being answered again and again. And many times they are even getting stuck or somewhere without an answer. So there's an opportunity to standardize the answers. Also, sales work and follow-ups. These are the ones that bring sales, that bring revenue, that brings profit to a company. So many times leads are forgotten. We don't follow up. We don't check in and try to get those opportunities into an invoice, and so opportunities are lost. Again, another very easy, interesting flow that we could automatize somehow. Then it's operations. Operations demand a lot of coordination, coordinating tasks, coordinating teams, coordinating internal workflows, approvals, you name it. And things that are more critical, but also things that are just in parallel, like approving expenses, approving, holidays, I don't know. And then finally, for a decision maker, for the owner of a company, how can you decide if you don't have the numbers? And sometimes the numbers are spread or they are in the accountant, and only when we finish is when the numbers are visible, and we might had a different decision if we had the numbers on time. Finally, we have also fieldwork simplification. Many companies rely on decentralized teams. Name it, sales team or a field work team that is on, in every, remote situation. And for that, there's a lot of work that could also be simplified. So as you can see, several examples of opportunities in SMEs that could be there as a low-hanging fruit to be digitalized, automatized, and amplified with AI. However, the question, of course, is okay, but how do we actually do it? How can we do it? And there is no recipe, no bulletproof, plan. But there are a couple of rules or playbooks that we could apply in SMEs. We synthesize this into 6 steps, 6, revolving, because it's a process that never ends, of course, but 6 actions or steps. The first one is, of course, audit. We have to understand how the business really works. We have to understand the several steps of the process, the several dimensions, the several stakeholders. Second one, we have to map them, identify processes, identify the bottlenecks, the opportunities where we could, actually save, or we can actually improve productivity and efficiency with technology. The third one, very important, is selecting. If we don't decide which workflows to focus, it will become too wide, it will become too overwhelming. So selecting and focusing is a very fundamental step as well. On the fourth one, we say simplify. Before working with the technology, after selecting the right workflow, how could we make this simpler? How could we make, this a little bit more straightforward, removing unnecessary complexity? And after that, then we should apply technology. Then we should digitalize, introducing first digital internal solutions that will streamline, these workflows and processes. And only in 6, we should amplify with AI, deploying, co-pilots or, trained models, automations, agents that will allow you for that digital solutions to be even better. And of course, after a cycle, you will get back to audit, you will get back to map new processes and bottlenecks and so on, because it's an endless process. It's a marathon and not a sprint. So this playbook of 6 steps are the ones that will allow you to transform an SME into a much more AI-ready company. However, of course, SMEs are always dependent on resources. But what resources? So first of all, the first resource and the most important one is about commitment. It's about like the owner's top down commitment. It, to tell you honestly, it can be developed without the owner, but that simply will never work. So the owner has to be involved, has to be personally committed, has to give the example and walk the talk. Otherwise, the company, the organization will never go digital, will never um, do the leap into the transformation that we want. Second, of course, we need technology. And technology can be developed from scratch, can be coded like traditional coding, but there's a new trend emerging that I think is an opportunity for SMEs that we believe, and we have been seeing this with real examples. This is all the big trend of AI and digital technology that is without code, meaning that it allows everyone to actually develop and maintain and and operate with this. These are AI and no-code technologies that remove technical barriers, that they also remove the learning curve. And finally, it allows faster, cheaper, and customized development. So very interesting opportunity for SMEs. We don't rely more on the coding, the traditional coding that is expensive, that is very hard and very expensive as well, and slow to develop. And finally, We also need a third resources, which is talent, which can be developed inside. But there's a new role emerging. There's a new trend, and it's happening internationally that I think could also change the landscape for SMEs, which is the AI and digital transformation agents, the AI and digital transformation change maker, the ones that are independent professionals, many times reskilled, that have experience in business, but that bring that understanding of the processes, that they bring also the understanding of these new digital tools, and finally they also bring the AI capabilities. And these independent outside partners can help an SME without the SME having to hire, expensive consulting companies or expensive development software development companies, or even having to develop it internally. So we believe that with this triangle, SMEs can really transform without massive IT projects, without massive ingredients, with massive investments. And that's a huge opportunity that never in history showed up. So I think we are in a great time to live. Now, of course, looking at this, you say, okay, uh, what if I am an SME? What can I do? I think you just need to start your transformation journey, start exploring, first of all, your commitment to do this. Second of all, your processes. And finally, you have to also look at these new technologies that I just mentioned, AI and no code technologies. And of course, also this opportunity of having, these external AI and digital transformation partner that helps you to do this. If you want help to, with more examples, with some use cases for this, or just a nudge, well, reach out to us, and we're more than happy to help you. Finally, if you are a professional, if you are someone that is trying to get on board with the technology world, that you want to break into this new economy, well, this is a new profession that could become great your great next step. Why? You could become a digital transformation agent, a digital transformation consultant that will help SMEs transform. Because of course, like um, the technical roles that you see on the job boards on LinkedIn maybe are a hard one and a very slow learning curve to be there. So maybe you have in here the first step towards a technology career. And I think this is much needed. Why? Because first of all, I think that SMEs need it. But second of all, I think if we all help SMEs transform themselves, we will be transforming Portugal. We will be transforming also the European economies to become more competitive, more productive, and more agile. And with this, I would like to thank you very much for being here, for the support. And also, please contact us if you are an SME and you want to transform yourself. More than happy to show the roadmap and help you to with our experience. Also, many of our students, want to do projects with SMEs, so more than happy to help you guys with that. If you are a professional, well, it's time to move. If you want to break into the technology world, I think this is a great opportunity and this is a great time to be alive. So make sure that you will start learning. Join us if you want. Just check justfledge.com or send me a message here. My phone is here as well, or talk with the team on the chat. And we will be more than happy to to guide you and curate a learning experience that allow you to, in a short period of time, to be helping SMEs transform themselves into an AI and digital ready organization. Thank you very much. Have a great rest of the day.